Okay, this is gonna be. I didn't get everyone because there was a lot who were saying this, and I'm not sure if it even counts as a question. But various people said baby para.
Baby para. I agree. Fully agree.
Okay, it is time for the lightning round of questions.
Oh
Yeah. So, Alexandru Dorries asked a bunch. So, how do you want to do this? One at a time, or?
no. Let's do one at a time, because otherwise I'm gonna forget them.
Okay, first question. What baby dino are you most excited to see coming to Arena?
Oh, that's tough. Like, baby para is adorable. You saw it. The baby Maggie was actually really cute, too. Baby Hipsy is hilarious. It's a friggin' nugget. I'm curious to see if the Cerato baby changes much, because I know there was a Cerato morph they showed us, like, eons ago. I don't know if that's still the thing or not. I'd be curious if they change the Rex, but I doubt it. So I'm not really excited for that one. I've never really liked the smaller Rex stages. They look a little weird. Acro. I want to see an Acro baby. Is it gonna be obese too? Is baby Acro gonna be fat Crow as well? But yeah, I want to see a baby Acro actually. Scratch all of those other ones. I am most excited to see what baby Acro looks like. Because, yeah, I'm wondering how they do that. That Acro never had a baby to begin with because it was sandbox, so. Baby Acro, please. I'm curious.
Okay, that was one down. Alright, next question. What's your favorite aspect of the game? Combat, exploration, social, family simulator, or bonk coconut? I assume those were just examples he gave, but just favorite aspect in general.
What was that last one?
Let me copy paste it for you, actually.
Yeah, I kind of want to. I thought you said bot coconut.
Bonk!
Bonk coconut.
I'ma bonk you, sir!
Okay, coconut bonk.
There you go.
Or bonk coconut. Well, back when I played Legacy, which is the most I've played, I did a lot of wandering around. So probably exploration. I did enjoy. So when I played Dillo, I mentioned earlier that I played each dinosaur differently. As T-Rex, usually I just wandered around. When I played Dillo, I hung out in the swamp and would kill babies, and I found that incredibly fun. I think Cerato, when I played it, I also wandered. So it's a little bit of exploration and a little bit of baby killing. I mean, I'm not good at the combat because the combat in Legacy freaking sucked. And I suck, so it didn't go well together. I didn't like how they could clip through each other and you could just abuse that, because who likes that? But anyway, probably exploration, and if you can, I mean, kinda, like, hunting, kinda. Like, I tried to do surprise ones or go after, weaker prey, because I was a friggin' Dillo, and I'm not mad strats.
If you could make a change to the game's mechanics or balance, what would you alter?
I assume this is Vrima related.
It didn't specify.
Since most of the mechanics and stuff are in Vrima, I'll just focus on that. Honestly, there's not a whole lot. It's hard to answer that right now because there's so few things, and honestly, I don't really care about any of them. Like, I don't care about Utah, Carno, Dryo, Stego, any of those. I don't care. Until things like Trudon and Cerato are in the game, I'm just, like, waiting, basically. If I had to change... I don't know how they're gonna do Cerato, and maybe by the time this is posted, we will know how Cerato's done. And maybe I'll like it, or maybe it'll suck. But I want to say I want Cerato to be good and not an absolute hot pile of garbage like it is in Legacy. Like, I still remember there's people who will talk about this magical time where Serrato was apparently actually stronger than Aloe. And I'm like, where was I during that time? Because I wish I could have experienced it even for a slight moment. And that's not to say I want... My voice could stop going out. That's not to say I want Serrato to be stronger than Allosaurus or anything, I just don't want to be trash. Like, I want it to be able to handle itself and be an actual threat, because it's still decently sized. The fact that it's just trash is wrong. It makes me sad. It makes me upset. I hope it gets a good ability. That's about all I can say. I hope Trudon's good, but as far as things that are in right now, I can't really comment much on the diets because it's still being tweaked as of recording this. So maybe we'll have to re-record this part, we'll see. But right now I'm not really impressed with diets either because they sound too harsh right now. But again, they're still tweaking, so I can't really say. The having to kill 3 different creatures in order to try and get your nutrients is stupid. People have repeatedly said in the feedback as well, so I'm not just nitpicking, it's not just me whining, thankfully, it's a lot of other people, because generally speaking, most predators, they aren't picky. If it's within their size range and capabilities of eating it, most of them will eat it. Meanwhile, herbivores, it really depends on the herbivore. Like, there's a good chunk of them that are super picky, and then there's some that'll be like, oh, I'll just eat whatever, like a goat. And I guess, yeah, there's some carnivores that are like, oh, I guess I'll only eat this particular type of thing, but that's not very common when it comes to carnivores, because generally speaking, carnivore life is full of RNG. So usually picky carnivores aren't going to make it. Just saying. So, yeah, when it comes to a game, the biggest thing, so originally when they were talking about carnivore diets and putting particular animals on particular diets, like Utah hunts Tenontosaurus, let's put that as an example. What if there are no Tenontos on the server? Well, originally Punch's answer was something along the lines of, we'll have AI to cover for any, people not playing a particular dinosaur. And I'm like, okay, cool, that'll be fine, I guess. But at the time, I didn't quite realize this was going to be a 3-pronged system where there's 3 different nutrients you have to fill. So now, apparently, when you eat certain things, you don't get protein from it, which makes sense. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I just. Anyway, back to what I was talking about before I get too grumbly. There are going to be times where there's going to be a dinosaur and it's not found. Like, when I played Legacy, and I played T-Rex a lot, I know they're going to put Maya on T-Rex's menu, which is fine, it's great, in theory it makes sense. Back when I played Legacy, I saw Maya like twice in all the years I played it, and I played, most of the hours played that I flash up sometimes for the Isle, most of that's on Legacy. So that's over 100 hours, and I saw like 2 Mayas in that entire time. Like, I saw more Ankies than I saw Mayasaurus. People just didn't play Maya as much. Like, there were some servers, I know, Siza had some run-ins with Herbie Death Squads on certain European servers, and Mayas were the quick ones. So they were easy scouts, and they had a decent amount of damage. So those guys were not too pleasant once the dibbles and whatnot caught up. And yeah, anyway. So I know they were played, for sure. And I mean, I saw like 1 or 2. But that's not going to be enough to sustain a Rex, like 1 or 2 people deciding to play Maya, especially when by the time Rex is out, there's probably going to be most of the roster in, and the roster's around 60 creatures. You cannot tell me there's going to be a good amount of every single creature played at all times in order to sustain carnivores. You cannot tell me that. And even if you extend it to the family of herbivores, like hadrosaurs in general, even that's going to be pushing it. It shouldn't be that way for the sake of the player, because it's not fun to rely on what Deinosuchus relies on now, which I've also whined on. Deinosuchus has to hope someone comes to his particular spot and hope he's able to kill it, aka not a stego, or else he's going to starve to death. And it would not be fun to be playing a thing like a Rex or a Giga or a Spino or whatever the heck, and then find out, oops, there's no one playing anything on my menu at all. I am going to starve to death. That's not fun. You should be able to hunt what you can find and what you can take down and be rewarded for that. And it's going to be especially bad for things like Utah, which right now can barely kill anything. Where, say, Utah finds a body of something that's not on its diet, well, too bad, Utah, you're going to continue to starve to death and get weaker. I mean, not starve necessarily, eat it. But it's not going to reward you, and you're going to, have the debuffs, which includes damage and scent and all that other stuff, that makes it even harder to get something to eat. Like, I get you want to punish people who AFK, but you're punishing people who are also trying. So just... As you can tell, if I could change something, it would be the carnivore diets to not be as broken as they currently are. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be changed. And I know with the Gore update, they're going to alter it and include guts and stuff, but the core idea of it being particular creatures needs to be altered to something else. One suggestion I've seen is a percentage of the body that's left will decide how many nutrients you get. And in theory that does make sense, like a scavenger finding a corpse. A lot of the times animals in real life will go after the guts first and whatnot, because that has some of the biggest nutrient value. So if you find a body that's been scavenged a bit already, or is rotted a bit already, those things might be gone. And so yeah, it makes sense, and it doesn't punish you as much. In fact, if you kill something and you get the freshness, it rewards you. Even if that's not the special dinosaur that you're supposed to eat, you get something for it, and you're rewarded for it. All your efforts aren't in vain, or if you're able to bully someone off of a corpse, you're rewarded for it instead of getting punished for it by continuing to have bad damage and bad scenting and whatever the heck else comes with the debuffs of a diet. So we'll see, but right now, there's not a whole lot in, and what little's in there I don't really care about, and I don't have like a ton of experience with. I've heard they nerfed Utah to hell though, so that's something that I wish didn't happen, but I don't have personal experience with it, so I can't really say.
I think you already answered this, but I'll just say both of them because I feel like you've answered them already. It was, do you have any hobbies and got any pets?
Yeah, I actually answered both of those earlier, but bye. Video games are my passion.
Okay, let me check to make sure that it was actually the right question. Slack?
I guess I could expand on the pet question.
Oh wait, whoops, it wasn't pet, it was hobbies.
Hobbies. Well, I mean, honestly, same hat, pets tend to fall under hobbies, to be honest, because of how much work they are. I mean, pets count, kinda, but video game is my hobby. That's all I do for fun. Video game. Maybe someday I'll have a life.
Okay, next question.
Oh no. I'm time frame.
Should Utah raptors be able to drive mercenary vehicles, and why or why not?
It depends on what vehicle, let's be real. So, not even as a pure joke, but yes, if a Utah squeezes into a truck and can touch the pedals, I don't see why not. Not like properly sitting in the seat or anything because it would look weird, but like it would be hilarious if they could go into a vehicle and like just step on the gas pedal and then it just drives into the abyss. Like it crashes instantly. Like they wouldn't be able to steer it or anything, but it'd be hilarious if they could make it crash. Because Punch said that for one, you're gonna have to work to like get the vehicles back into working order. But two, they're not invincible. They'll wear down and break down and stuff. So it's like that would be hilarious if a Utah could just climb into a truck and it would probably maybe die in the crash. But it would be hilarious if it could just step on the pedal as it was in there and crash it into a tree or something.
Oh, do you know the answer to this one? Okay.
Yes.
Who's your favorite idol then? Felipe.
It's probably gonna be Felipe. Like, when they're all in a chat, or at least the ones we've seen in a chat together, they all seem pretty chill and stuff. But most of what we see are usually in the Discord. And from what I've seen, it would be, Felipe. And that's not to say I dislike the others, it's just I have a favorite. That and he doesn't play obnoxiously loud music in his streams, usually. That made me like him. I think that was what made me say friendship ended with, what was it? Was it friendship ended with Punch and then Felipe is new best dev or something because he wasn't playing loud music? But I'm honorable mention to Punch, of course, because I mean it's hard because we don't see a lot of the others. Like there's one in particular where I'm so on with what I saw of him. I will not name names though, and no, it's not Dondi. But Punch is also really cool for the most part. And then there was Hypno. He said the uwu in one of the Felipe streams.
Nuzzles uwu.
Let me be your
I'm so
scout.
sorry.
No.
I'm so sorry.
But also Punch is cool. So I can't really say, like, oh yeah, I just like this guy the most because he's the best. It's more from what I've seen and heard, Felipe. But I also really like Punch. The memes are good, like, good memes. I love how they all joke around with each other. But honorable mention to Punch Daddy. You know, come to think of it, I think, like, all of them have ended up being called Daddy. Because there was a Daddy Felipe joke that Felipe posted as well.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, don't call me Dad as well. Dondi did that, and I'm gonna show you. Fuck it. I'm gonna show you all. Yeah, I'm gonna show you all. Look. Look this. Can you see it or not? God damn it. My stream is so late now. Yeah, never forget this. Save it forever. Oh god. Anyway. Poor Dondi. Good thing you save it. Punch tried to erase the evidence. No, never.
Since I have my recording stuff up for another question I had to do, I kind of forgot while recording this the first time that Siza is a dev as well. She, as I think I've mentioned prior, was the only YouTuber I would watch for the IL stuff after a while. Like, I tried watching, like, Gaming Beaver and all those ones, but, just, Size is the only one I actually liked. The only one that I really enjoyed watching. And I know she doesn't upload quite as much anymore. She might still stream, I don't keep up with IL videos anymore. But, she was my favorite of the YouTubies, and so I would say she's definitely up there in terms of depth as well. She acted a lot different than the other YouTubers. She was nicer, I guess you could say, and that's not to say all of the IL YouTubers are jerks. No, it's not that, it's more, they would come across, most of them would come across as, like, arrogant. And the way they would talk down on certain other players for playing X species or whatever. And I get it, that comes with certain games. I've done it myself in Identity V all the time. You'll probably see it in one of my other questions. But the degree in which they did it was unpleasant. It came across more as I don't want to say a personal attack, but it came closer to something like that. They would really rail down on those guys playing X thing, and it was like, ooh, that's a little spicy right there. But with Siza, I never saw her. I don't think I really saw her talk down to any of the players, and even in, like, battles with teammates and stuff. Most YouTubers will generally blame the other person for a mistake, even if it wasn't that other person's fault. Siza, even if it wasn't her fault, generally I would see her apologize. Which I felt, I mean, it takes a big person to do something like that, even if it's your fault, to go, oh, sorry about that. Or not your fault, sorry. Something like that. Like, it's difficult to do stuff like that for some people. So I found that pretty charming. But yeah, she's also one of my favorite developers, even if, like, she only does the video side, and some people would argue that's not a developer, but, I mean, Punch is considered a developer, and he handles the community side, so it's only fair she makes the trailer videos, which is a hefty chunk, you know? So yeah, I would put her up there, and I would have had I remembered, but sometimes I forget she's an official developer now. It's kind of surreal to think that, oh, someone I used to watch on YouTube became a developer. It's like, it's big. It's very strange, so I forget it sometimes. And I feel really bad, but yeah, I wanted to be sure I included her as well, because, again, don't know her personally, do not talk to her, but she seemed really, really nice in the videos that I saw. And yeah, it's easy enough to act, and I don't understand all the German, but even in comments and stuff, she was generally very kind, and I found that very refreshing compared to most of the others, so yeah, I think she'd be one of my favorites as well.
Do you listen to music while editing? Did you, or?
Oh yeah, let me answer that properly without screaming. Okay, so it depends on the stream. The video. If it's a stream, I can't because I have to listen to what's going on. But if it's the regular Discord ones, lately, I will do the, so there's a dude I watch, and he does super long critiques of movies and games. Like, incredibly long. 12 hours in some cases, not joking. And I'll put those on in the background. I went over his Outlast series again because it's good. And I was listening to that. So I don't listen to music in the background, generally. I don't think I ever have, except for the background music that's set for the vid. But I'll listen to his stuff every now and again. And I think there's a few other, like, quote-unquote, like, documentary types that I've listened in the background every now and again.
Um,
Stuff like that I'll listen to sometimes.
Next question. Should Jesus Raptor be canon in the Isle lore?
No. If there's gonna be something canon in the Isle lore that's like fan-made or something, it should be the Ben thing.
Next question. Oh, it's the last one of the lightning round. Alright, nice. Okay. If you could combine any two dinos into a horrific genetic monster to play, what would they be and what would it be capable of? Blech. What are words?
Ooh. I like this question a lot. So naturally I would want to is there a limit to how many can be fused, did he say? Like, did he say any two?
Any two.
Okay, two. So my first thought would be to combine my two favorites, which would be naturally Cerato and T-Rex. But, my other one would be Troodon and T-Rex, because that would be really cool, like giving it like venom and stuff. But I love hybrids so much, so I love this question. So my first thought, of course, would be, like I said, the Cerato and T-Rex. We don't really know what T-Rex is gonna be like in the Isle right now, but from what I understand, they're probably gonna try and make Apexes like incredibly difficult to keep alive via diet, which I'm not going to share my thoughts on that. But anyway, so combining a Cerato and a T-Rex, I think would be really cool because it would make it so it could eat like anything. And that would be really awesome because Cerato being able to eat anything sounds like it's going to be pretty useful, considering how diets are as we know at this moment. So being able to just consume lots of different things and rotting things and all that, I think that'd be helpful. And then of course there's the bulk and power of the T-Rex. That would be cool. And Cerato back in Legacy at least was really, really fast. Like it was one of the, it was faster than an Aloe. It was decently fast. Like it wasn't the fastest thing or anything, but it was pretty fast. And it had I think it had a lot of stam if I remember right. A decent amount. But it'd be more than T-Rex regardless, so adding the stam and speed of a Cerato to the T-Rex would be really cool. Basically just covering the Rex's weaknesses, because Rex in Legacy had like junk stam. You couldn't just run around, you had to walk around, and it was slow and painful to just walk everywhere because you had to retain your stam, because in Legacy, I don't remember if I told you, Yoichi, but you don't usually with any other creature when you're walking you gain stam. The Rex doesn't, he has to lay down to gain stam. So if you use any of your stam to like run a little bit, you're gonna have to lay down and rest or you're gonna permanently be lost in that stam.
Lay down and accept death.
It was annoying. I mean, I get why they did it, but it's still annoying. Anyway, so that would cover that, and honestly it would just look cool. It would just look neat! As for the Troodon thing, I mean, the Venom... Troodon looks like it'll be pretty agile, which... Oh yeah, that was another thing. So back in Legacy, Cerato had the best turn radius, and Rex's was pretty bad. Like, it wasn't the worst, but it was pretty bad. So butt riding a T-Rex wasn't necessarily difficult. Like, it was, but it wasn't. I'm not gonna say it was easy, but it wasn't, like, incredibly difficult either. Anyway, again, just covering the weaknesses of the Rex, and looking really cool while doing so, because those little horns that Cerato has would look really nice, and just the head shape, and I could go on, it's cute. It's cute! And when you compare, like, Cerato and T-Rex, Cerato has, like, these cool little spikes on his neck and stuff, and T-Rex is pretty smooth. Like, he doesn't have any cool spikes or anything, he's just a smooth boy. He's just kind of there.
Vibing.
Yeah. And another thing, let's say in this scenario that Evrima does give Cerato something like a grab sort of thing. Rex being able to grab stuff with his arms would be cool, because in this scenario his arms would be bigger and a little bit, you know, more useful. Honestly, yeah, that'd be really cool. The Troodon thing, agile, venomous, Rex sort of thing, that'd be cool. But I guess I'm just focusing on those too much. There's probably others I could mix, but I'm gonna be biased to my favorites, okay? But I think that would probably be my answer for now. Ooh, and the mimicry from the Troodon would be cool. Like, being able to mimic all sorts of sounds. Being extra cute. Because that would be honestly cute. I think mixing with the Troodon, it would probably lose some of its jaw power, maybe, I don't know. But it would have venom, and it would be faster, a little bit more agile. Probably a little less bulky, but those are my initial ideas. I'm sure I could think of plenty more because I cannot stress enough how much I love hybrids, by the way. Like, I know there's a lot of people who don't like the Indominus Rex and Indoraptor thing, but I like the idea of hybrids, like both natural and unnatural, and it's something I wish things like Pokemon and other monster things would do more of, because the idea of combining two completely different creatures and putting them into one super creature is incredibly appealing. I've always loved it. But anyway, I could go on for that a long time, and I probably shouldn't.